Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Gems of War Longsword +5 Imbued and Enchanted events, in which the Arceus as well as the new Legend of Willow are added to the game. Today actually marks the exact date of 2 years of us covering these event videos every single Monday. I'm going to go post in the top right corner for any of you that may have not seen that ancient footage of our first ever one 2 years ago. But yes, this does indeed mark the second year of us consecutively doing it every single Monday. So we've definitely come a far way since that very first one. That is for sure. Also, just real quick, for any of you, there has been quite a few asking, so I do want to just cover this real quick. As far as our stream schedule, we stream on YouTube Gems of War every single day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we also stream it on 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday and Saturday morning. So for any of you that are interested in that, of course, you probably see it spammed all over the channel because, like, obviously that comes out to every single day, some days multiple times a day. But we do stream quite a bit, and we also have some redeem codes here and there during streams for additional resources. Anyways, though, let's get into the actual content. So let's go and look at Arcanus. This is a pretty relevant trait stone. Red purple is used for a lot of things. Not only that, but this is indeed a epic troop. Epic troops are special in that they have a 400 cost, but it comes out to the cheapest possible arcane cost that is ever available, only costing 200 glory per arcane trait stone. So if you've been needing red purple trait stones for the many things that they are used for, definitely a good time to go and stock up on them. Early on in the game, you'd want to throw this onto a Sunbird, so you can run standard Sunbird Rowan teams, or really anything for Explorer that runs with a Sunbird, or even just a Sunbird in general. Later on in the game, you'd want to throw it into things like Azurus so that you can do soul farming, Dragon Soul, Umbra Wolf, if I'm not mistaken, even Infernus uses it, Queen Titania. There's a lot of really good red purples out there, that is for sure. Definitely not a lack of things to throw it in. As far as this troop right here, it dispels an enemy and then deals a small amount of damage to it. It then gains magic and then becomes enchanted. This enchant is relevant mainly because it has immune to mana drain, so it can always retain its mana, assuming it's not stunned, since it can't be drained. Plus, it would always have that enchant once you cast it the first time, since it'll just keep enchanting itself. So, a very nice little combo that it has going on there. It also ends up gaining a total of 5 magic every cast, 4 off its ability itself, and the other one off of the arcane. And of course, this gets even more magic if your allies also keep casting. So probably a pretty decent troop earlier on in the game due to his boost ratio, or not really boost ratio, but the way that he gains his extra stats. But I personally don't feel like I'll be using it this much this late in the game. I might be using it some to farm a little bit of souls, because you do get plus 40 souls for using him this week. But other than that, not really going to be bothering with him much. So, of course, there is something pretty big that we can get from the event keys this week, so much so that we're going to be opening them right now. So there are 3 drops that are currently in the event key drop pool that are pretty relevant. Let me actually go into troops right here. That'll be the easiest way to go and show them. So let's go over to the current event kingdom, which is Silverglade. There it is. So there are 3 pretty big things that are available right now. There is Christinex. It's considered one of the best dragons in the game, as well as probably top 10 or so as far as strongest troops in the game. It deals damage to all enemies, boosted by a chosen color, which it then removes, so it has a bit of board control. And then it summons a Silver Draken, which is relevant because it's immune to freeze, and it has a water link on it, which can feed right back into your Christinex. It is immune to entangle, has stone skin, and it automatically gets that enchant whenever you take purple. It's all around pretty well at doing just about everything, which makes it pretty decent. Decent damage, decent board control, decent traits, and just all those factors makes it a really high quality troop, and definitely one to consider having. There's also 2 other things. There's Willow, which we haven't gotten yet, which we'll be showing in a second, and Queen Aurora is the mythic from this kingdom, and she is indeed available in the event key drop pool this week. Her ability is pretty average. It does get barrier, which can be pretty useful. It helps keep the rest of your allies alive, but the main component of why anyone would ever bother for a Queen Aurora is her final trait, where she gives +1. It's basically a +1 link to every color. She gives +1 to all 6 other colors, making it a lot easier to accumulate mana. Not really often needed, but it can work in some very niche teams. Personally, I would not overkill and try getting her, but if you're already opening some event keys to try to get like the new Willow, then at least you'll be able to hopefully maybe get her from that, but definitely do not try spamming at her. She's not something that is worth going out of your way for. But let's go and see if we randomly get her. But of course, the main thing I need here is a Willow. That is not a Willow, unfortunately. That is another Christinex. That is 2 more Christinexes. Willow. That is 2 more Christinexes. That is 5 Christinexes. We almost have a Mythic Christinex. Event keys, don't lose us all. We need you. Christinex, stop. We have you Mythic'd already. Literally in just the event keys we just did, we have gotten you Mythic'd. I know you're in there, Willow. There you are. There's the Willow. Well, it took us 6 Christinexes to get 1 Willow, but we finally got it. What was that, 250 event keys? A little bit expensive, but we have this troop now. So this troop is basically the forever replacement for Salvani Mora in like 95% of teams. The only time you would still use Salvani Mora is under 2 circumstances. If you specifically need it in a 3x4x Dragon team, or if you specifically need it for Entangle. If you don't need it for either of those 2 purposes, you will now always use Willow instead. So Willow, it is a elemental beast, 15 mana cost, which is 2 lower than Salvani Mora, plus it has more damage. It destroys a row, meaning you actually accumulate all that mana, plus it's decent board control, since destroying a row is a lot better than exploding a column, which is what Salvani Mora does. It then deals damage to all enemies, boosted by Brown Gem Destroyed, and that is at a 3x boost ratio. So it's really similar to that of a Rock Spirit, except a Rock Spirit for late game. So that's essentially what this troop is in a nutshell. Boost ratio is really heavily on those Browns. If you hit like 3 Browns, that's 9 additional damage to all enemies, and that's a total of 36 additional damage to the enemy team if you were to hit 4 Browns. 3 Browns, assuming the enemy has 4 troops. As far as traits, they're pretty average. It has Immune to Entangle, which Salvani Mora also has. It has 33%... oh, wait, never mind. Wait, does Salvani Mora have it? I think it does. Anyways, has Nimble, has Bark Skin, which is similar to the aspect of Salvani Mora having reduction in its Entangle. This just has a standard 33% reduction instead. And the main unique thing about it is it gives all beasts 2 attack and 2 life every single extra turn it does, so it's going to be pretty good to use with Forest Guardian. It's good, probably be good with Queen Aurora, and yeah, pretty much just any kind of beast-oriented team. You can easily use it out of the context of beast teams, so of course within them it'll be even better. As far as using it with probably the best thing that would actually benefit from this, it kind of can't be used. That would be Black Beast. Black Beast would gain the biggest benefit out of any beast from this trait. Though the biggest issue with this is you would not be able to do that because they're both the exact same color and you'd have way too much of a mana conflict. But anyways, that's that. Let's go and upgrade it. But before we do and go do with the teams, let me go over the other little event-like things real quick. So let's see, go into here. We have the 10% to all Silverglade. We have 10% to all elves. This isn't too relevant. I don't think they have too many good elves in there other than like Elspeth, but Elspeth wouldn't really gain much of a benefit from 20%. We have the Arcanus gaining 40 additional souls in PvP or Explore. So if you want to go and get a little bit extra souls that way, just plop him into any of your teams. Not really going to be showing much for him because if I'm using him anywhere, I'm going to be using him in Explore. So I really don't have much need to throw him in PvP. And unless you're really low level, I don't think you're going to be needing to throw him in PvP either, unless you're doing like 1 trophies or something. But other than that, we also need to go and kill a bunch of greens and Explore. As far as the best kingdom to do that, you would want to go to Forest of Thorns. Forest of Thorns has 13 green, if I'm not mistaken, which is the most out of any kingdom in the game. It's also pure green. And a team that I may use just a little bit this week when trying to farm this down is a Dragon Soul, Azurus, Umberwolf, and Arcanus. You can also upgrade the Azurus into a Fairish Ra. You can downgrade the Umberwolf into a second Azurus. And if you don't have Azurus traded, well, the trade stones are available this week. But if you somehow don't still have them upgraded, you can go into like a double Warlock or any double Necromancy and just go Dragon Soul, double Necromancy, and Arcanus for your extra 40 souls off of him. But yeah, it's a pure red-purple team. I'll probably do this later with Fairish Ra, but I just wanted to show it with a slightly cheaper option here for anyone who hasn't gotten a Fairish Ra yet. Of course, as we would with any of these kind of teams, get Dragon Soul up immediately and pretty much just go from there. So we'll go and take ourselves, I guess, the purple. Didn't get anything really cascaded. We'll go get that Dragon Soul in there, and then we'll be good to go. So we'll get that, throw another Dragon Soul down, and 1 more cast will hopefully do it. And we did indeed extra turn, thanks to our Umberwolf. As you can see, we reach max souls. We get the extra 40 souls from him. We get the Necromancy to trigger, or Fairish Ra if we had a Fairish Ra there. And we end up getting a nice quick 205 souls while still killing that out in under a minute. So, yeah, not too bad. Still would probably just use my standard soul farming teams, but that could definitely be viable if you don't have any Fairish Ras at the moment. Anyways, plus you'd be getting the green event done, of course, too. Anyways, Soulforge. Haha, Soulforge. Some of you might know why I'm already laughing. There was a really weird glitch with this earlier this morning. I actually have a video that will be coming out soon after this. I actually already recorded it. Zugoff, long story short, spoilers. Zugoff was craftable for like 1 hour this morning, and I actually still have a copy of it. They are reverting it, so anyone who did craft it will get a complete refund, and obviously anyone who crafted it, they will be undoing it. I believe 0 people legitimately have a Zugoff at the moment, but we have a fake Zugoff right now, so I'm actually going to show a Zugoff team later in this video. Plus, we have a whole video for it. I wanted to record it because that's probably the only time we're ever going to own a Zugoff. Actually, I believe if I restart my game, it will undo the Zugoff because I believe they've already removed it. Anyways, as far as the Soulforge, nothing is actually worth crafting other than the glitch Zugoff that was here earlier, which is no longer available, obviously. So yeah, nothing really too over the top this week to go and get. It's kind of funny, Queen Aurora's here, despite her also being in the event key drop pool. So you have 2 different ways to go and get a Queen Aurora. Not really the greatest of troops, but if you really wanted her, you definitely have plenty of options this week. I actually forgot to check all the color orbs, so let me just double check real quick. Well, you can already get that. I guess maybe parrots, but that's not really too good. Well, you know what? Actually, that's not too bad. You get Azura, you get Giant Spider, you get Parrot. I'm not sure if it's actually worth going for, but there's actually quite a few good drops in there. You even had the Dwarven Gate in there. Desert Troll could be worth going for if you truly needed them, though I feel like Desert Troll is the worst of all the trolls. Nothing too relevant there other than Lava Elemental. Let's see. Pengalong you can already get for free. Dragonian Monk is already easy enough to get, so you don't really need to go for it. Flame Troll is actually pretty relevant, though again, all the other 7 drops are not that greatest, but Flame Troll tends to get used in a lot of doubling red teams and red-oriented teams, and all those are useless. So yeah, I guess maybe purple. Probably just skip on all the color things. So basically just skip on Soulforge in general this week. And let's see, boom, boom, boom. I think that is all of them. So let's go into some teams now. So let's go show the teams with the new troop that I haven't even traded yet. Let's go with Willow. I'm doing 2 Willow teams right now. One that will be a higher end Willow team and one that will be a lot cheaper that pretty much anyone can build. So let me go and upgrade this thing. Luckily that takes no time at all these days. So we'll click that, click yes. I still remember the days when this took forever and a half to go do. Actually, I think if we did it on our first video, it took us like, what, 1 minute or 2 minutes to go and upgrade our troop, because you had to do it 1 level at a time. It took forever. And of course, you had to do 1 trait stone at a time too. Now you can just click 1 button, which also makes that a bit quicker. But there we go, already fully upgraded with that. Let me go replace both the Sylvania Moras. Oh, what just happened there? That was weird. I'll go replace those out. Oops, well, we kind of see what the teams are already. Oh well. But let's go right into this. Ooh, do we go against dwarves? We'll do it. I don't think that will backfire at all. But anyways, we'll start with the more expensive team real quick. We're going to be going with the Forest Guardian, Deep Boar, the Willow, and the Queen Aurora, which of course is also the mythic currently in the event key drop pool. As far as going all beasts, I think the best replacement would probably be to use the use the Warden hero class and use some kind of hero weapon in place of Deep Boar as your mana generation option. Right here, I'm going to double check for alignment. If I'm not mistaken, it's purple to skull and brown to green, which we do not have aligned. So I'm just going to go for mana there, get our Willow up. I obviously have yet to actually use a Willow yet, since we literally just got it. So we pretty much already know what's going to be doing, though. It's pretty straightforward as far as its ability. It's a pretty standard AoE, decent damage, pretty well rounded. Reminds me a lot, actually, of a Christina X as far as how viable it is. The only thing it's really missing is that summon aspect from it. But it can probably even accumulate more mana than a Christine X in most situations, since it does get that guarantee destroy, whereas a Christine X you might not always have the alignment you need for it. Speaking about not having the alignment you need, we do not have alignment right now. Luckily, we can Deep Boar into a Forest Guardian, and we should be able to get away with that, because even if we miss, like we completely just did right there, we should hopefully have enough brown next to green that we won't miss. But apparently no, we don't have enough browns next to green to go convert it. I don't have the purple convert either. I guess we try attempt number 2 of Deep Boar wanting to constantly keep missing. He's been on a really big missing streak. Normally he's not that bad. Well, I'll go for that. Obviously all of our beasts get barriered from that, and everything on our team is a beast except for Deep Boar. But of course we could replace that with a Warden hero weapon if we really wanted to, especially with how bad he's missing right now. Not enough brown to really go for at the moment. We do have that at the top, so I guess we could go for that. The only slight problem with using a Forest Guardian with it is it does convert it out, which is actually why I put it in first slot. So worst comes to worst, if this dies to scroll spam or something, our team is completely functional just with the bottom 3 troops that we have going there. So we're just going to go for some AoE, keep poking it down with that. All of our damage is either that AoE or skulls. Speaking about skulls, let me actually go for that poke right there. Get that in there. Actually going to throw this down onto green so we get the extra turn right there and quite a bit of our mana back. This also replenishes the board some so we could actually go and get some browns to go boost ratio off of. Hopefully we'll have 2 in a little thing. Then again, we could double skull here. And I think that is the more tempting choice to go for, so we will go and grab that. Gets quite a bit of mana there, and you know what? Maybe that wasn't the right choice because now he's going to get a summon into first slot, which is going to be little annoying. I have no direct way of dealing with that. The only way we can is off of AoEs, so I have to throw like 2 more AoEs down on him. Oh, okay, that's fine. Out of anything he could have summoned, that's like one of the absolute worst. So all it does is kill itself after a cast, and it has a barely any damage this late in the game. It's only 71, which in most instances isn't enough to actually get a kill. And even if it could, we could just barrier up and protect ourselves, so it shouldn't be an issue. Do we have anywhere with a lot of brown? We could use it for board control too and go get mana. So I'm actually only going to take 1 brown, but I'm going to do it for the mana that we have there. So we'll do that instead. See what else we really have to take out here. I don't believe it's much, though we do have the alignment for skulls, so we'll go for that. We could have just waited him out until he hit himself out, but we'll do it that way. And take another skull, and 1 more will do it? Yeah, you don't have any reduction, right? You know, you don't even have skull reduction. Boom, dead. And there we go. That's the higher end team. Is it particularly viable? Oh no, that seemed a little bit slow, actually. Could be because we didn't have enough damage or something. Ooh, the dreaded team. But, I'll have to try it in maybe at a full AoE team later or something. Of course, later tonight we will be messing around with that quite a bit just to see what it can kind of do. But anyways, let's go into the cheap Willow team. We're going to be going with the Cockatrice, the Deep Boar, the Willow, and the Rock Spirit. Watch, is probably going to do better. Oh no, do I trust it to go against this? I think I need to go slightly cheaper than that. As far as what we're up against, that's too cheap. 4 Inferno Kings. It's not what I meant. Here we go. Let's go into a Gorgoltha Dragon team. I think that will be perfectly fine to end up going against. So we'll just go into this thing. Also, I ended up getting that little notification thing, by the way. I figured I'd get a little notification thing because I always hate having to specifically say it. So having a little thing that might just come up occasionally is probably what I'm going to be doing. I have to manually go click to go bring it up, though. I don't have it set on any kind of thing just so it doesn't automatically block something. But I figured I'd get that little graphic just for fun. Anyways, we'll go throw that brown down. We'll go and see if we can get a Cockatrice down somewhere so we can actually go and deny their mana. But we don't have any mana to deny, so I guess we can't really do much with that. We'll just go for some damage there. See if we can get a Rock Spirit or something going in. Yes, but is it worth going for? I guess we'll go through it right there. Get a little bit of split damage. Ideally, we'll be using that for cleanup, but we didn't really have any. He's not really progressing with mana, which we really actually need him to do in order to get our hit off. It's kind of weird. That's the same problem that Nyx actually has too, as well as Florian, of course. The Cockatrice has the same issue. If the enemy doesn't have that much mana, you're kind of in a little bit of a stalemate, because you actually need them to have a bit of mana to really be able to utilize the ability itself. So we're going to do that, mainly just to take the brown there. It does look like we give him red, though, but that should be fine. We're getting to the point where we can almost drain him. I think I am going to go for this Deep Boar. Hopefully it'll decide not to miss for once. Okay, apparently he doesn't want to stop missing, but we're going to go drain out his brown since he is getting dangerously high on that. And of course that just instantly gets it. We get him entangled too, which is quite convenient since now he won't be able to really deny us with anything with that. I guess we'll go and get ourselves a Willow and then a Spirit. Then again, with how the Browns are currently set up, almost looks like we almost get better value from doing this because of how many Browns we can hit. This thing has a 4 times boost ratio. We can hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Browns right there, and we still get purple over there to basically replenish our mana. So in that case, the board control is the better option than the actual damage off of anything else. So we'll do that. But now we'll go for the damage, and then we'll go into the split. There's no point in doing the Rock Spirit prior to that, because we would have done a lot less damage, and we would have wasted a lot of Willow's damage, because since it does it per troop, we want to make sure we do it while most of them still have that much HP. If we, the Rock Spirit, however, concentrates all the damage onto a single troop, or however many are left. So if there's only like 1 or 2 left, it can do its damage a lot better. Whereas this thing, you want to make sure that they're still alive and they still have their full durability. Otherwise, if they're below like that only 13, obviously the max we can hit on is 13. Whereas with this thing, if it was like a 13 and another troop there, we could still distribute the damage, the full amount of damage that it would normally do to all of the troops. But we'll go get that down, get that nice little kill. And yeah, sadly, the cheaper team actually did better than the more expensive team. That is pretty funny. I think it was mainly because I didn't put enough damage on the previous one, or it could have just been a bad battle. It happens sometimes. Anyways, I have something really funny to go show as our final battle. I do want to do it against something not with Gorgolfa. I'll have an entire video on this as well. But this is actually a 9288 battle. I think this is fine. It's a revenge as well. But, yes, we have Zugoff. I guess we'll go do 2 battles real quick. We'll have a whole video on this later, which I already recorded. But, I do want to go show him, because this is probably the last, battles I'll ever get to use with him. This is not a real Zugoff. Well, it is and it isn't. It's real in that we have it at the moment. It's not real in that I believe the second I closed the game, I don't own him anymore because they reverted back the Soulforge glitch. But yeah, of course, as I mentioned earlier, he was available for 4,000 diamonds for like 1 hour this morning. And yeah, we did get to mess around with him, which has been a lot of fun. That is for sure. Is he viable? No, he is absolutely 100% useless, pretty much. No, not 100% useless. There's some very niche instances. And out of everything I've tried so far, this is the even closest thing to getting him to be viable. And as you can guys kind of see already, it's just standard Justice team. I haven't used it for a while, so some of you might not recognize this team, but it's... it used to be really common, the Valkyrie Justice Queen map combo. Probably still is, to a degree. I know I personally don't use it that much anymore, but one really interesting thing about a Zugoff is he can kill any enemy in the entire game at a 100% chance. And this includes Impervious, too. So if they have Impervious, boom, you can still one-shot it. It's not like a Great Maul, where this thing has immune to Devour, so you can't do it. Plus has immune to Stun, so you can't stun it and then Devour it. That doesn't work, because it's immune to both. But with a Zugoff, you can go and just instantly kill it whenever you want. There are things in the game that can instantly kill, like Archer fully traded, and Skyla, and Assassin fully traded, and stuff like that. But this is the only one currently that has a 100% chance of doing it. On top of that, it also freezes and burns all enemies. And that freeze aspect is the whole reason why we're even running this team, because we have a Justice. Technically, we don't even need Queen Mab, because all we need to do is cast this, and then get that going. The Queen Mab is just to make sure we guarantee get those, and in case we're up against a team that needs to be frozen quickly. Because it could take sometimes a while to get his mana up. Obviously, 32 is tied at the highest. Even though it's tied at the highest, it's technically the highest, because Worldbreaker, which has the same mana, at least it gets to accumulate his mana back, whereas Zugoff doesn't really get to do that. He technically could get it off of the skulls that cascade, but naturally he isn't really going to be generating any mana to the board. So we'll go for that kill, get a bunch of skulls. As you can see right there, that's just, wow, what even just happened? Double kill right there, out of nowhere. Just for, oh, I forgot to take the yellow. Good job. Okay, that could have definitely been some good Valkyrie mana right there, but oh well. That would have been full mana right there, wouldn't have been. Yep, that would have been full mana. Oh well. But we'll go take another skull. One thing I did notice this when I did it in the other video is he's actually got a lot slower start than a Great Maul. This battle's not that good of a representation of that because it actually has gone very well so far in this battle. But, oh, I was supposed to take a skull. What happened? Okay, well then. But, he is noticeably slower than what a Great Maul is, I do have to say. One pretty nice thing about him, though, is he does gain 5 to all stats per skull that he takes. And this can really start to stack up over time if you have things that can really easily create skulls onto the board. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Can it actually kill Farge Troll, Nyx, Dawnbringer, Queen Mab? That will say if it's okay or not. Is Zugoff worth crafting? If he can beat this battle, the answer is maybe. No, the answer to that is no, he's not worth crafting. But, we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. Anyways, one last battle. This is the final battle we will ever get to use with Zugoff, because it'll be like another year before we have him, if I even get him then. But, yeah, say goodbye to him. This is the last time we ever get to see him. So unfortunately, I won't be able to take suggestions or anything like that, since I'm pretty sure the second I close the game, he will be gone. Well, what do we go there? We'll go take the... We are getting all the resources back for it, by the way. We should get our 4,000 diamonds back, plus all the trait stones. And if we don't, I am sending a support ticket, because that's a lot of resources. That is for sure. What do we need to move around? Both of these end up giving him a skull. This doesn't matter too much, though, because he has Impervious. Actually, did I even go into traits in this video? I don't think I did. But it has Jinx, which has their Mana Mastery, has Impervious, and it has +5 to all skills whenever he takes a skull. So that's pretty nice. Actually, I believe it's when anything on your team takes a skull. I don't believe he actually has to be in first slot for that, if I'm not mistaken. Though, realistically, you're always going to roll him in first slot. There really isn't any context where I think you wouldn't. Maybe second slot, but one of the two. Definitely not like a third or fourth slot troop, that is for sure. Okay, we'll go and, do I give him another skull? We don't really have too many options. I guess we'll go for that. What's the biggest threat on his team? Normally I would say Nyx, but I believe in this context it's actually Dawnbringer. But let me go take that first. I almost forgot to take that. That gives us a free freeze, though unfortunately it's the thing that's immune to freeze. That didn't quite work out. We have 4 skulls on the board. I mean, 6 skulls, but they're nicely placed right here, so I think we all get it. So let me get rid of that. We did land it, and that will die down to 1 more skull. He only has 33% reduction, which reduces that down to, what, 26? Which is actually his exact HP, but we also have the burn, because of course it burns and freezes all enemies, assuming they could be inflicted with that status effect. Of course, Queen Mab isn't frozen because she is immune to freeze, and this thing isn't burned because it has immune to burning. Anyways, we'll go take a skull. And 1 Valkyrie into a Justice into a bunch of skulls should be it. No alignment, though. Not even anything worth taking out. I don't want to give him that skull either, because we really do need the skulls in order to perpetuate his damage, plus to actually apply damage. But we'll go and take a free skull right there by moving the blue. Well, apparently 2 free skulls. That's not exactly what I meant by that, but okay. I'll take it. We're 1 blue short for a free Queen Mab, so we'll just go throw that down for skulls. And it just plows it down, plus we still had like 2 or 3 more skull pokes to take after that. But, yep, that is a Zugoff. But anyways, that's Queen Aurora, that's Willow, that's Zugoff. If you still have any other questions about any of the troops that came out, let me know, and I'll definitely make sure to go over them. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for 2 years of support. I still am so surprised of how many of you are actually still around from all the way back then, too. I was, like, looking at that video, and it's like, oh, yeah, he was actually on the stream. I forgot who that was, but someone who commented on the video, like, 2 years ago. It's like, oh, wait, you're still in the streams to this day. It's really, I still find that amazingly surprising, but I really do appreciate all your guys' continued support. It's been an absolutely amazing 2 years. I never really expected when I just randomly started this up in college I'd be doing it like this, like how I have been, but it's been going very well, and thank you guys for the opportunity to be able to do this. But anyways, guys, I'll see y'all later. Any other questions, leave them here. We'll be back 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Salty will be going over pets tonight. Unfortunately, she will be streaming after us, so I won't be able to really go over that until Tuesday, but we'll still be having fun tonight with a bunch of better codes that she gave us, so we'll have those to give out in celebration of 2 years. But anyways, guys, I'll see y'all later, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and goodbye, everyone.